when I was speaking very directly about my own experience. And I think the point of it is not to look to align your experience with mine because we're two different individuals. But the point is to take the principle. The principle is think big but start small. The dorm room doesn't matter. The point is start where you are. Start where you are. I mean, for me, it was my dorm room and it was the nail salons and the hair salons up the street. That was where I was. Wherever you are and whatever your idea is and whatever your dream is, you have to start. The worst thing you can do is to sit there and say, oh, I didn't start in my dorm room or I didn't start when I was this age. That's the worst thing you can do to yourself. At least start. Little drops of water make an ocean. Make an effort. Take a step out. The one thing you know is that not doing anything, you are never going to achieve anything. If you sit down and say, oh, I'm just going to sit here and feel bad, then you're definitely not going to achieve anything. But you never know. If you at least risk a little, step out, just try. Just start where you are. I mean, that's what worked for me. That's the point. The point is not, not about the dorm room or the nail salons. The point is I started where I was, and that's what you have to do. Start where you are, but start. That's the point.
I have another question for Banky. You see, I'm reading from your profile. I'm awed. It says something about you overcoming a health challenge. Do you want to talk to us about that? Because you don't look like you've ever had any challenge, except maybe premature baldness, because we all know how it works.
I don't think that's a challenge. That's a beautiful trait right now.
No, because I know everybody has a skin cut, and we know what we are hiding. But, apart from that challenge, it suits you, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay. When I was in university, my second year of university, they discovered cancer in my shoulder. And so I had surgery and a little bit of treatment, and then it went away. And then when I graduated university and I was working for an engineering company, it came back and it was a little bit bigger, and I had to have a major surgery and all of that. Uncle Heidi knows because my mom had to come and stay and take care of me. And here's my thing with that. First of all, it goes back to what I said earlier about the grace of God. Because God decided to rid me of that. And so I don't like to position myself to say that I'm stronger than somebody who succumbed to it, because we know a lot of people die from, there's 100 different types of cancer. And, I personally know people that are close to me that have died from it. So I'm careful with it because I don't like to position myself as stronger than those people. It is without a doubt the grace of God. Now, you can clap for God, don't clap for me. But now, after that, it goes, even doctors tell you this, that it goes back to your mindset. It goes back to your mentality, thinking positive, believing that you're going to be fine. A lot of these things go a long way. God, I don't believe in signs. There's some people that believe in horoscopes and, because I was born on March 27th and the star was here, I am a Leo, I'm a Scorpio, and that means today I'm going to have a bad day because some horoscope somewhere said that or whatever. I believe that God, I think Ronke said this, I can't remember. Look at your hand, right? Everybody look at your hand. Do you know that nobody in this room has your fingerprints? Do you know that nobody in this world has your DNA? If you do something wrong today with the right equipment, they can pinpoint it to you. Which means that God created you specially, and that there's a purpose for you that nothing and no one else can do, that God created you as an individual. And I think that's such a beautiful thing, that there are billions of people in the world, and God took the time to craft you specially. And so, you have to start seeing yourself in that light, that there's nobody like me on the face of the earth. There's nobody, and it's about that mindset, believing that you are meant to do more, believing that you are a winner, believing that you will achieve, believing that your dreams will come true, having that mindset. And then after that, is about going about, it's execution. Execution is everything. So you dream, and then you go about trying to execute it. That's my story. From beginning to end, I can give you a million different examples. I thank God I'm 100% fine, even with the head and all that. I thank God really, and I'm here and I'm grateful, and I'm nowhere near done. Like, I don't even feel like, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface, that there's so much more that I'm meant to do, and by God's grace I'll get there.
Fantastic. I would like to actually ask Alibaba GCFR one obstacle that you had to come across, because this country is hard. You said it yourself. If successful people say it's hard, what do you think?
Well, there are several things that come into play. First of all, when I started doing comedy, what I needed to surmount was the lack of appreciation. People did not think that cracking jokes was hard work. They did not even think that it was worth paying for. I'll give you an example. In 1995, I went to Security and Exchange Commission. Alhaji Yunusa was one of the guys there, and they had a dinner. They were supposed to honor Efod Alele, who was the stock exchange guy at the time. And so they said I should come in for a meeting. So I went there. He said, I walked in, opened the door. I walked in. He was writing some things and looked up. He said, here, you are the comedian? I said, yes. I don't have time. How much will you charge? I said, 10,000. He said, 10,000 for what? So I said, well, that I actually charge 40,000, 50,000. But I talked with these people. They said that they can't afford 50,000. That they will pay 10. He said, that's why I'm asking you why you are charging 10,000. I said, sir, I actually charge 50, but I'm coming down to 10 for you. He said, when you go, don't close the door. The thing with people is that even people that you do something for, Banky is an artist, and he'll tell you, there are some people who you ordinarily will charge 1.5, and because the person appeals to you, and you now say, okay, I'll do it for you for 800. If something happens and you don't show up at that place, the person will make it look like you made him lose something that is worth 3 million. And then you are thinking, if this thing was really worth 3 million to you, why didn't you pay? When I told you...
Story of my architecture too. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I brought you for selfish reasons. How do you... Because in architecture in Nigeria, a lot of people just think you just draw. It's only people like ID and Co. too. ID, you are coming up a lot. And a few people in the hall who actually understand something that is not a tangible. Nigerians understand paper, water, but ideas, which is what makes the world really...
Let me break this to you. In this hall,
free consultancy.
In this hall, I had an event, and it was for CL leasing or something.
C&I leasing.
C&L leasing. They had something. They invited all their customers to come, and they paid 1 million naira. I came. Our podium was there. One of the organizers, they had their table there. The man that was in charge of paying this thing didn't laugh one bit. I did. Everybody else was laughing. The jokes were flowing. Everything was fine. So after a while, I stepped down. I went to him. The man said, "She 1 million here. 1 million." And then the event continued. The chairman of the event came to me and said, they've been having these customers meet for the past 6-7 years, but that this is the best, that everybody is just so happy. In fact, he wants me to do like 10 minutes straight. I said, okay. I cracked jokes for nearly 20 minutes. People liked it, and I could feel the audience. As I turned and looked at him, the man was killing my spirit. And then I looked at, because my balance was with him. So I needed to impress this Agbaya. I continued. So I now got to a point. I said, what will happen now is that I'm going to talk about how this man is feeling with my money. So I started talking about how then he loosened up a bit. I was going, and when I was done, the chairman called me and said, that he was so impressed, and he heard that I charged 1.5, but they paid me 1 million, by 1 million.